$5 million? That's what the U.S. government is betting will make someone betray Juan José Ponce Félix, the Sinaloa Cartel's veteran commander known as El Ruso, and hand him over. On paper, it looks simple. Cash versus loyalty, the odds stacked high. But in the loyalty economy of El Mayo Zambada, that bounty is pocket change compared to what's offered inside. Steady payouts, social status, security for your family, and a lifelong place in Mexico's hidden power structure. This isn't just a hunt for a fugitive, it's a collision between two entire economies. Washington's, built on law and rewards, and the cartels, where trust is currency and betrayal comes with a price no outsider can match. So if $5 million isn't enough, what would it really take to break the code of silence? On September 16, 2025, the U.S. State Department announced a reward, up to $5 million, for information leading to the arrest or conviction of Juan José Ponce Félix, known as El Ruso. The statement named him as a cartel leader in Culiacan, accused of trafficking cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamine, and heroin, as well as orchestrating arms deals and paying more than $1 million a month in bribes to police and military. The offer is open to any non-U.S. government civilian who can provide qualifying information, following the standard terms used in high-profile narcotics cases. This public bounty makes headlines across Mexico and the United States. It is designed to send a message. Anyone, anywhere, could collect a life-changing sum by betraying one of El Mayo Zambada's most trusted commanders. Behind the official language, the intent is clear. Washington wants to shake loose an insider, to break the code of silence that protects the Sinaloa Cartel's leadership. $5 million is not just bait. It's a signal flare, a challenge to the hidden networks that keep Ponce Félix out of reach. Yet, as history shows, these rewards rarely deliver their target. For every poster and press release, the real question lingers. Can a price tag ever outweigh the promise of loyalty, protection, and fear that binds a cartel's inner circle? Born in Obregón, Sonora, in the early 1980s, Juan José Ponce Félix grew up in a region where cartel influence shaped daily life. At 19, he entered the Sinaloa Cartel under the wing of Gonzalo Insunza, known as El Macho Prieto, a mentor whose reputation for violence and cunning left a lasting imprint. The apprenticeship was more than a job. It was an education in the rules of survival, loyalty above all, silence as protection, violence when required. When El Macho Prieto was killed in a military raid, the vacuum he left behind became an opportunity. Ponce Félix stepped forward, gathering loyalists and forming Los Rusos, a paramilitary faction that pledged allegiance to Ismael El Mayo Zambada. This was not just a career move, but a declaration. In the world of Sinaloa, choosing sides means staking your future and your family's on a single leader. Ponce Félix's loyalty to El Mayo became his shield and his brand, binding him to a network that offered far more than cash, protection, status, and a place in the cartel's inner circle. Defection, for someone like him, is not just risky, it is unthinkable. The Sinaloa Cartel runs on a payroll that rivals small corporations. Foot soldiers, known as sicarios, earn between $1,200 and $2,000 a month, more than many local police officers. Commanders, who oversee routes or squads, can take home $15,000 or more each month. For trusted lieutenants, the real money comes from profit shares, up to 30% of the proceeds from a successful drug shipment, sometimes paid in cash, vehicles, or property. Bonuses are tied to performance, defending a plaza, moving a large load, or securing a bribe. Legal protection is part of the package. Lawyers on retainer, bail funds, and emergency cash are available for those who find themselves in trouble. Families of fallen or imprisoned members continue to receive support, with monthly stipends and even education fees covered. The cartel's incentive grid is designed to reward loyalty over the long term, building an economic moat around its core members. Compared to the steady flow of income, benefits, and protection, A one-time bounty from the outside looks less like a windfall and more like a gamble with no safety net. $1,000 a month, paid in cash, can mean the difference between poverty and stability in rural Sinaloa. For families tied to the cartel, this stipend arrives even when a son is killed or a husband is arrested. The Sinaloa Cartel has created its own insurance policy, one that covers not just the foot soldier, but his children, his siblings, and sometimes his entire village. In Agua Caliente del Monzon, local teachers report that school repairs and holiday festivals are quietly funded by anonymous donors. Medical bills are settled, church roofs fixed, soccer teams sponsored. The source is never named, but everyone understands who is paying. This is the logic of collective reward and collective punishment. If a member of Los Rusos is jailed, his family receives support. If someone betrays, the consequences ripple outward. In 2019, banners appeared in Tepuche accusing Ponce Félix of treachery. The message was public. Rumors of disloyalty will not be tolerated, and any hint of defection brings swift retaliation. That same year, entire neighborhoods emptied overnight as gunmen swept through, targeting not just rivals, but suspected informants and their relatives. Inside this system, loyalty is more than a personal virtue. It is a survival strategy. The cartel's promise is clear: stay loyal, and your family is protected. Betray, and no amount of outside money can buy safety. The result is a near-total absence of informants. Even with millions of dollars on offer from foreign governments, the risk-adjusted value of betrayal is negative. For most, the cartel's guarantee of steady income, social status, and protection outweighs the danger and uncertainty of turning informant. In Sinaloa, loyalty is enforced not just by fear, but by a network of obligations that money alone cannot break. The United States has relied on cash rewards and sanctions for decades, betting that money can break the bonds holding criminal networks together. The Rewards for Justice program, first used for cartel targets in the late 1990s, has promised millions for tips on figures like Alfredo Beltran Leyva and Damaso Lopez. Yet, most high-level arrests come not from informants lured by reward posters, but from military raids, rival betrayals, or years of surveillance. Audits by the State Department and Treasury have found little evidence that these financial incentives generate actionable intelligence at the top levels. In the case of the Sinaloa Cartel, the logic of the loyalty economy runs deeper than any outside offer. The Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act, signed into law in December 1999, was designed to freeze assets and blacklist traffickers, hitting their wallets instead of just their hideouts. Since 2000, hundreds of individuals and companies linked to El Mayo and his rivals have been sanctioned. But the cartel's business model adapts. Assets are shifted, new front companies appear, and local officials continue to take bribes, often exceeding $1 million a month in Sinaloa alone. The system is resilient because it is decentralized, with each lieutenant, like Ponce Félix, managing his own payroll, bribe streams, and loyalty networks. Operation Michoacán, launched in 2006, sent more than 45,000 troops into cartel territory. The aim was to break the cartel's grip through force and disruption. Instead, the war hardened the loyalty economy. Cartel leaders responded by increasing payouts, tightening internal discipline, and reinforcing the promise of protection for loyalists and their families. El Mayo Zambada, who has never been captured, survives by staying invisible, delegating day-to-day control, avoiding public feuds, and rewarding those who keep secrets. His model is not built on showy violence or flashy spending, but on trust, silence, and the guarantee that loyalty will be repaid, even if the outside world offers $5 million to betray him. For Washington, cash rewards remain a tool of policy, a signal that no one is untouchable. But the real power lies with those who can offer more than money: security, status, and a future. In the loyalty economy of Sinaloa, The price of betrayal is measured not in dollars, but in survival. On September 12, 2025, the U.S. State Department announced a $5 million bounty for Juan José Ponce Félix, citing him as a key lieutenant to El Mayo Zambada. Yet, as documented, Sinaloa Cartel commanders like Ponce Félix can earn up to $15,000 a month, with additional rewards through shipment cuts and social protection for their families. Internal documents confirm that widows of cartel members receive $1,000 monthly stipends, and narcomantas from 2019 publicly reinforced deadly consequences for betrayal. Despite decades of U.S. rewards and designations, like the Kingpin Act enacted in 1999, El Mayo remains at large, and defection rates stay near zero. Classified files still obscure the full decision-making inside cartel ranks. The evidence shows this is not just a battle over fugitives or cash, but a collision between two economic systems. As of now, official rewards alone have not broken the loyalty economy that keeps cartel power intact.